The PK600's engine. If you don't look closely, you can barely tell the 600 apart from the 400. The engine isn't damaged, and it still starts up normally. No problems whether cold or hot. The biggest find here is that the chain has gotten a bit long. It must be quite loose here. Compared to Suzuki, the build quality is weaker. The 600 is basically the same engine. Just the color is different. A bike from the early 2000s. Counting it up to now roughly. It should be a bit over 10 years old. Not quite 20 years. This bike is basically impossible to ride into the ground, because the people who ride this bike are usually pretty gentle riders. Most people don't think much of its looks. The big PK is different though. The big PK gets ridden hard. The PK400 actually has more of a following than it does. The PK600 is very rare. Suzuki's common issue series. Things like burnt coils. This coil should still be good for another year or so. Actually, with this bike burning out coils, as long as you don't mess with the lights and don't add random accessories, there's basically no issue. The main thing is a lot of people can't get used to how on Suzuki bikes, the light comes on as soon as you turn the key. A lot of people think that since the light can't be turned off, it's just wasting power. But that's actually not true. They designed it so the light stays on. So when you're out riding, the charging output is naturally set a bit higher if you turn off that light for no reason. The extra electricity has nowhere to go. And at that point, the load on the rectifier gets pretty heavy. Since the extra power isn't being burned off through the headlight, the rectifier can only dissipate that heat by heating up itself. Over time, it's bound to burn out the coil or the rectifier. If you don't believe it, take a look or think back on any Suzuki bike that's prone to burning out the coil or rectifier. Its headlight is basically not lit up because the owner turned it off themselves or changed other lights. So it doesn't light up when the key is turned. The Honda series is the same way. Take the old CBR 600 for example. Only one side lights up. And new riders who don't know think that one side of the light is broken. Here at home people usually like to call it the low beam. But technically it's supposed to be the running light. In the long run, the parts down to here are all fine. No issues. Clean it once and put it back together. Swap the timing chain and those other wear parts, valve seals and things like that, and it's good to go. Mainly the valve seals need time to order in. You wouldn't dare use cheap, ordinary valve seals. Think about it, the original ones lasted over 10 years with no problems. Now that it's been taken apart, we definitely have to replace it with original parts. If there are no original oil seals available, it's better not to replace them at all. It can still hold up for a few more years. Besides, it's not burning oil right now anyway. The amount of oil drained each time is a normal amount. There's nothing left to replace in the lower half, so we'll just clean it and put it back together. The upper half will have to wait a few days, so we can only get half of it done for now. When things are quiet this episode, there's still other stuff to take care of. Take a look at this design. Honestly, aside from the owner himself, I doubt anyone else likes it. Especially this handlebar. The gauges are still original. Oh right, he also added an ABS pump. Adding something like that always feels unsafe to me. And the rear has a bunch of spotlights too. All cluttered and messy. Honestly, this thing, wouldn't hiding it look even worse? Anyway, I just can't appreciate it. Isn't this just an unnecessary addition? I definitely wouldn't call it a finishing touch. Just cut it off already. It's uncomfortable just to look at. Star marks up top and down below. The paint's chipped pretty badly. Let's touch it up a bit. Originally the plan was to do a full restoration. But I worry the value of this bike might not even cover the labor cost. So we decided to just touch up whatever looks off. As for the wheels, he said he prefers gold. So we'll make him a gold set instead. For a change of pace. The owner even asked me what would look best. And I said something that hurt his feelings a bit. I told him it'll look good no matter what you do. Except the way it looks right now, which doesn't. Let's just restore it to original.